said it, killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think. Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too sharp, I stay on my toes. About that, what boy, anything goes. Help the bearers, we outside. Help the bearers, we outside.
30 seconds left.
Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger pain.
Yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, You Best Believe It. I ain't telling you no lies. NERDSoul special, but I'm not by myself. First, from Black Together today, you saw the episode of Bel Air come out, and it's not just me, but Lady Lisa, say hi.
Hey, everybody.
That's right, y'all. So, not only is Lady Lisa here,
better not.
Not only am I here, and we might have another guest. Let me get my swig on. I'm sorry, y'all. You know.
That's how you know he's about to do something crazy.
But we are joined by the incomparable,
don't do it,
the amazing, magnanimous.
Why?
You may know this man.
No.
All right. From Top Gun. You might know this man. All right. From Miami Vice. You might know this man from Law and Order. You may know this man from Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine.
Oscar award winning.
Oscar award winning, without a kerfuffle, I give to you the world's most interesting man, Clement Bryant.
So what? I'm in the danger zone now? You give me Top Gun?
Highway 2, though.
Highway 2,
man.
That's
like
really? Like really?
Yo, I do it because I'm so happy to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's good to have you back. I'm like, oh snap, Clement's here, so I can't let you just come on and just be like, he is. You know,
I mean, just like really Top Gun? Like, what am I, Maverick? My butt, I'm like cashing checks, my butt can't cash. Like, is that what we're doing? But okay, fine. If you want to do that. So yeah, we did talk about the big issue of the last 24 hours or so.
Yes. So I want to start it off by I want to give everybody I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Ghost MKC, Arcatron in the chat. Go check out them beats, get them albums. You got Kevin Richardson in the chat, and we might be seeing Open Mind later on. Shouts to Antoine Allen. I want to give everybody a chance to give an opening statement for how they feel about this in a short burst before we get started. Lady Lisa, if you could give us some opening statement for where you going, how you feeling right now.
To summarize it, this is the deepest slap I think we've ever seen, because the slap goes much deeper than the slap.
Oh, it does. The slap is deeper than the slap.
Yes, that's what I said.
All right, Clement, opening statement, if you would.
I mean, my word is just damn. Because like,
that's what Chris said.
I mean, what else do you say? It's like, I just damn. Like, I have no other words, because for someone, and okay, before we get into this, I will say none of my things should be taken out of context. I mean, no disrespect, but you wouldn't think that it would be Will Smith of all people to jump off a cape like that, ever.
Okay.
And
okay.
there is a lot to be said is you don't know who the person is behind the camera, right? That said, I never thought it would be Will Smith doing something like this. I would say like it would be like Jason Momoa or like
okay,
like someone with like you could tell like there's like a darkness there, but not Will.
I didn't even believe it when I heard it, honestly.
Like I didn't believe it either.
Either.
Like literally just I think like, and I wasn't even watching it live. Like I was on the phone doing some wedding stuff, and all of a sudden my Twitter starts going crazy. Like I just start seeing tweet after tweet. I was like, what happened? And then I saw it and I was like, this must be fake. It's got to be fake. It's got to be fake. There's no way that this is real. And then no, I slowed it down. I saw actual spit come out of Chris's mouth. I was like, wow. You know, so.
Oh, man. Okay, so I think this slap is multifaceted in a way that Aquafina's Black Scent isn't.
Really? Dang.
I still got beef with Aquafina. There's
Can we deal with one beef at a time?
Yeah, that's true. One beef at a time. I believe that Chris, unfortunately, was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I think that's where I'll go. I think that's where I'll go for my opening statement. Because
you mean the joke?
Oh, I say it again?
You mean the joke was the wrong place, wrong time?
No, like... I just think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But so opening statements, we kind of got, where we feel. I'm gonna try to make sure we cover all facets, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what we do. We try to be fair to folks. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So, if you didn't know by now, Chris Rock is one of the presenters / hosts of the Oscars. He's hosted it tons of times. This time he was a presenter. And whenever there's a comedian at the Oscars, they do like a little light roasting just to get the crowd involved and stuff. And essentially it's Hollywood saying, hey, we can laugh at ourselves kind of stuff. And so he was, going through, he made fun of Denzel Washington in Macbeth. He made fun of Javier Bardem in, I can't remember the movie now. Oh, yeah. And then he went on to Jada and said he was looking for G.I. Jane. Like, can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2. Very light roasting. Just a little light stuff to get the crowd going. Everybody's giggling, laughing, having a good time. We think everybody watching thinking it's cool. Then you see Chris looking at something off camera. And he's like, whoa. And then Will goes up, full smacks him, leaves, and he's like, yo, Will just smacked me. And he's like, keep my wife's name out of your explicative mouth. And then he was like, for a G.I. Jane joke? And then he repeated it very loudly. Now, everybody saw, Oscar tried to bleep it, but see, Australia and Japan, they held us down. All right, they gave us the uncut raw. They gave us that Cinemax version. All right, so, what up, Jenna James? What up, ZSB Lou? So now everybody's like, oh, hold up. This isn't a skit. This is real. And then we start seeing Twitter's going crazy. Then we see a video of like Denzel and Tyler Perry kind of like consoling Will. And then, they kind of go on with the show and, the rest of the show happens.
I wonder if anybody consoled Chris.
I saw someone talk about that. There was a TikTok I saw like right before. It was like,
yeah.
So let me get he's like, so let me get this straight. Everyone consoles Will,
yeah,
but not Chris.
Chris just up there.
Like,
Chris just got hit.
Yeah.
Chris just got hit for doing what he's always done, what every comedian does, what's been going on at the Oscars, at least since probably before he started hosting it. He gets slapped for it, and nobody's like, yo, Chris, man, yo, you all right, man? Like,
I think that's an issue of power dynamics and it reminds me of like high school popularity. You know what I mean? Who's more
yeah,
popular?
like,
You know what I mean? Who's America's kind of sweetheart?
yeah.
Now Chris Rock.
Now, since we're on Chris Rock, because I want to stay on Chris Rock real quick, Antoine Allen said there was a pic of Denzel talking to Chris as well, but it's less seen. I did see it, but it also seemed like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Like, snap.
You are
snap. Let me talk to Chris too, because because he actually got hit.
Yeah.
Like because there's been jokes from Ricky Gervais, there's been jokes from the Wayans brothers, there's been jokes from Wanda Sykes, there's been jokes from everybody. Right. So all kinds of celebs, no one's been hit. So I guess I feel like Denzel was like, oh snap, yeah, I forgot. It might be that's who we go and holler at Chris real quick. Because Chris actually got, in all reality, Chris got assaulted. And to give Chris his props, all right, there's two things I want to give Chris his props on. I'll throw it to Clement after this. Not only did he stay up there, finish his segment, which was extremely professional, because he could have, as a comedian, we know every comedian is equipped to be able to, they can dig in if they want. And there was a second where it seemed like his comedian mind wanted to turn on, where he was like, oh, really? And then he was like,
because he said, remember I said, he said the words, I could go. And then he stopped himself.
He was like, I could go. He was
going to say, I could go in. But it's like, you know what?
Yeah, he was like, you know what? Let me calm down. Apparently this is the real thing. Let me let it go. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, even apologized, for the event and everything like that. And for a guy that's probably got like 30, 40 pounds on him, got smacked and stood right up. Didn't fall down or nothing. I was like, all right, Chris.
See, and I wonder, like, you saw like part of like Will Smith's Ali training coming in with that slap because of how quick it was. No, I'm not making a joke.
That slap was quick.
It was quick. It was like I had to slow down, like I was saying at the top of the video, at the top of the broadcast, like I had to slow it down to kind of figure out if it was real or not, because you actually saw spittle come out of his mouth. And right. So I was like, all right. So that's when I knew it wasn't fake. But also, it was kind of a quick slap for Will, who is a little bit bulkier, on Chris, who is like not as bulky.
He's always been kind of a slender guy.
Right. So
bony T. And shouts to Fillmore Pockets. Yo, man, on the real, coming through with the love on the super chat. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Fillmore Pockets is a dope name anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Fillmore Pockets.
But thanks for coming through. Hit us with the super chat. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see your sunshiny face. And of course, feel free. The Patreon, we got the Cash App, the link, the Cash App chat is in the, in the chat below. Feel free to bless a brother. But if you cannot bless a brother with a penny, a nickel, a dime, a dollar, you can share this stream for absolute freeness. All right. Besides the charges that, Spectrum or T-Mobile or Verizon charging you. But it's free-ish. You know what I'm saying? Go in and share the stream. Share the love, will you? Share the love. But I was, for Chris's side, I thought that the light roasting was kind of light and kind of, I guess, like pretty all ages. It wasn't dirty or raunchy or anything. And because when I saw the video that I saw had the slap in it, I was like, yo, I got to see this joke. What did he say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I saw the joke, I was like, oh. And I was like, he got slapped for something else.
Yeah.
we gonna get into some layers.
That's why I said this is deeper than the slap.
This is like, like, so, like, and also for Will to be up for Best Actor for King Richard same night, and considering that he has not won an Oscar after all of his, many performances, Ali, Pursuit of Happiness. He could have won Oscars for any of those films, but it was this film specifically. So for him to go, I gotta want to say, out of his right mind and go up on stage and assault someone on stage,
yeah,
it had to be run a lot deeper than just the surface level joke that Chris did. Like, I think it's forcing, like, people start, I think one thing is the 2016 Oscars, when Oscars So White was a big thing, because they boycotted it. The Smith family boycotted it. But also, after all the drama that Will and Jada have been going through in the public over the last couple of years, and then this, and then her alopecia being a part of it, I think this was the thing that broke the camel's back. And if anybody would have made that joke, it probably would have, if it would have been anybody other than Chris, he would have probably done that. But because it's Chris Rock and because they got history, that's why he did what he did.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. When it comes to the history part, because I've seen a lot of people pulling out a joke from 2016. Okay? 2016.
And that joke was, to me, more insulting than this joke was.
Yeah, that joke was a joke that was pretty much capitalizing on the social space that was already happening, because there were people online saying the same thing he said. He just basically tied self-deprecation to the joke. So he dissed himself and dissed Jada. Now, of course, there were people at that time. I remember tons of people being like it. And I remember even I was like, Jada,
well, how did he diss himself?
Because he said she has as much chance being invited to the Oscars as I have being invited to Rihanna's draws. Because he's like, basically, like, I ain't never gonna get no play. So it's like, you know, he took a piece of self-deprecation and a piece of like, look, like, you ain't getting an Oscar no way. So now my view on that the whole time was, when Jada came out, I was like, here come another black celebrity trying to get us on they train for something. And then they gonna get whatever they want to get and leave us high and dry once again, because black celebrities will do that. So that was my take on it. But I was pretty like, whatever. But there were a whole bunch of people like, Jada, if you don't stop, you ain't never cared about no Oscar So White until your husband is involved. Now all of a sudden it's so white. So, you know, I get it. But that joke, I'd say, was probably worse than this joke.
Yeah. But
it was just the timing. Because I will say, and we got Open Mind. Let me see if Open Mind can come through. Open Mind, what's up? When you ever get settled, you know, going to holler at a player. The issue with the actual slappening, I want to propose the idea that Chris got slapped for everybody. and indirectly slapped because he couldn't do nothing because of his anger about Jada. I want to propose that. I want to propose if all of the clowning that's been going on for the last couple of years, which is brought on by Jada, all of the jokes and the barbs and everything, which is brought on by Jada, Chris Rock was like that last little, and then after that he was just like, I can't take it, and then also the alopecia. Now, okay, also I want to put this out here on alopecia, okay, because I know there's been a lot of people online talking about alopecia. Alopecia is really, it's like the women's version of sort of like male pattern baldness, like early baldness, like those dudes that go bald in like 20. It's similar. It's like she's going bald, but I mean, people have made jokes about Stephen Hawking. Like I was watching something on Netflix. This guy, in a very funny and smart and dark way, navigated two kind of like priest touchy jokes, and then went straight into a police violence joke, and they were all funny. So that's what comedians do. They take the weird, the hard, the dark stuff from life and figure out a way to laugh at it. Now, Jada herself was on her own social media laughing about it and saying, all I can do about this is laugh. Then someone makes, and I don't even know if he knew about her alopecia or not. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But he makes a joke about it, which is what I would consider. And now, at the same time, I went to a lot of comedy clubs. COVID, I don't do that no more. And I've sat on the front row. And as y'all can see, I'm a hefty brother. All right? So you know I get roasted. I haven't slapped nobody, punched nobody, kicked nobody, spit on nobody, no nothing. And all other people have been roasted too. That's what happens when you're on the front row. So the mixture of this being a light jab to the fact that she made fun of it herself, and the fact that this is what all comedians plus Chris Rock has always done at the Oscars, leads me to believe that this slap was not about the joke. This slap was about, I'm tired of people coming for me. And it's like, well, technically, nobody came for you this time. This one about you.
But I think, he took it personal because they're talking about his wife. But, I think it is, that's part of it. But in my opinion, this is just a buildup of everything that's been going on and things being said. I feel like he has been spiraling ever since the whole entanglement, if you will. Ever since the entanglement gate, right?
Yeah. But that ain't Chris. That's your woman.
Like you said, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. Yep.
I mean, you could have inserted any said comedian and they would have got what he got. That's kind of how I feel about it. But maybe you're right. Maybe possibly, but that's just how I feel about it. Ever since, especially the Red Table Talk, when Will sat there like he wanted to do some things to this woman. He wanted to come, like in his mind, he was imagining coming across that table. You know how they do in movies where they flash into someone's mind and they just kind of go off and slaughter somebody. I feel like that's what was going on in his mind. And it just feels like ever since then, it's just, he's been slowly melting.
Yeah. And I agree with that because also I'm not sure if you guys read the GQ interview when he had his, I can't remember if it was his autobiography. I can't remember what it was, but they went into the Jada entanglement thing really hard in that article. And that was maybe a year or two after the Red Table Talk interview. So I think slowly you start to see Will unravel, and he's already kind of talked about, he probably went in deeper into his family history, especially stuff that he picked up from his father. So I think it's just a slow unraveling, and Chris was unfortunately the one that basically broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And the thing is, regardless of however light the joke was, I do think that whatever it was, that little joke was the feather. It was just kind of okay, I'm done. On all the floodgates going off, and Will didn't know how to really, and I'm not making excuses for Will, I'm just saying no. Contextualizing it, it's he didn't know how to handle that moment. And also he was smiling beforehand, so he was somewhat okay with the joke, but I think he saw Jada's response and how hurt she was for it. Because she can, it's one thing to laugh at yourself, ha ha ha, and be able to shrug off the haters. It's another thing to be made fun of live on air, especially when you're dealing with a medical issue and something we three know how important black hair is to black women, right? That's a big thing. So someone like Jada, who's been talking about her alopecia and her struggles with it, and that's also a mental health thing too, I could understand why Will would do that, but also that does not excuse the way he approached it either.
Also, that does not, I would say, does not excuse her from a light joke.
Right.
Now, I'll say this. If Chris dug in and this was joke number 3 about Jada, I'd be like, all right, Chris, move on. But you know what I'm saying? Comedians have been joking black women's hair, weaves, wigs, stuff for years.
Yeah.
Forever. Now, before we go any further, because I've seen it already. On my channel, we don't do the gender war thing. We don't. We love men, we love women, but we don't put either one above the other either. All right, men and women are both important here, and they both got to own up to their stuff, and they both got to be fair and loving and considerate to one another.
Agreed.
So, because one thing I've been seeing out here these days is like, oh, the violence against black women, the disrespect. Chris Rock has not. Look at his history. What history do we have of Chris Rock just running around?
Opportunity disrespecter.
Yeah.
Exactly. Chris Rock is not that dude running around just disrespecting black. Stop it.
Yeah.
A black woman can be criticized without it being, you know what I'm saying, disrespect. Now, like I said, if this was joke number 3, number 4, I'd be like, all right, man, what is it with you and Jada?
Right.
But he kind of went down the road, kind of gave little light jabs at everybody.
Yeah.
And because he essentially told Denzel, I ain't see your film. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so, everybody got like a little light roasting and he just moved on with the show. So this whole thing where it's like there's violence against black women, this does not constitute violence against black women. No. Now, also, alopecia is a medical issue. She is not going to dialysis 3 or 4 times a week for alopecia. So let's remember, it's medical, but there's levels. She's not a terminal cancer patient. You can talk about alopecia. All right? Stop it. What is it? Black Lady Sketch Group or whatever, sketch show or whatever had an alopecia joke in the first season, which was hilarious.
And it was hilarious.
Yeah. Hold up. Wasn't Laverne in it? Laverne Cox was in that skit.
She was.
Speaking of Laverne been all over this entanglement mess. Also in Will and Jada's face. Apparently, there's no smoke because but that's a whole nother thing.
I think Laverne would have turned back into Larry real quick on him, but that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah. I ain't going.
Just saying.
But it's one of those things where
there's a lot of layers.
I know it's an issue.
It's a lot of layers. It's a lot going on. I'm just trying to figure out when I want to dive in with my opinions about
go on and dive in.
Okay.
I said go on and dive in.
All right. So my opinion is this, and some people have already said it in the chat, some people have already kind of said it elsewhere. But as everybody could see, Will was laughing at the joke, right? We saw him laughing at the joke. And then, of course, the camera went off of him, and then we see Chris. Now, I believe, I don't know, none of us know, but I believe in the meantime, he turned and saw Jada, and I think that's what you were saying, Clement. And then he was like, oh, snap. She's not laughing. She's upset. She's hurt. She looked mad and perturbed to me. She looked irritated.
She did.
And it just seems like in that moment, possibly Will was like, oh, see, no, I'm not allowed to laugh at this, and I need to be really upset, and I need to do something to fix this for once, right? I don't know. Some people say he was laughing because he was nervous, and I know people do that. So it could have been either one. I don't know.
Okay.
Just looking at this from the perspective of a wife, looking at this from the perspective of a Black woman, I feel like in the moment that you see your man remove his butt cheeks from his chair, right, and proceed toward this stage, you need to be like, baby, what you doing? Where you going? Will, no, stop, Will. You get what I'm saying?
Jada was sitting over there like she was proud of that.
And I think she was, and that's a problem. That's a problem, right?
Jada just troubled. He's clearly doing this.
He's clearly doing this on her behalf. Clearly doing this on her behalf, because he was just sitting here chuckling. Right. That's how I feel about that. And I don't know. I don't know these people. None of us know these people. All I'm going to say is the vibe that I have gotten from them as a couple for a very long time is that Will is, no pun intended, but he is dangerously in love, with Jada. You know what I'm saying? Like almost obsessively in love with her. And she is like, I could do with or without him. That's just kind of the feel that I get from them.
Yeah, she has had like this dismissive kind of attitude towards Will. And once again, everything that Will is saying that he's going through is brought on by Jada. Like everything.
I don't know. He seems to have this really deep passion for his family. And I really admire him for that. I respect him for that. You don't hear the same from her. And what sealed the deal for me was when they were on Red Table Talk. That was her moment to publicly apologize for this whole thing with him, apologized for everything that went down with August, the way she handled it, the way it kind of put their business out there. That was her opportunity to kind of really boost up her man, if you will, and kind of stroke his ego and build him back up. That's how I feel about it. And she didn't do that. She sat on there and she smirked. She was condescending. She ran all around the issue, all these different things. And I was just like, ew, why did you even have him on here? If you weren't going to bring him on here to build him back up, what you bring him on here for?
I almost feel like she brought him on the show as a flex for her power over him. Whoa. Like to be like, look at how much he want me. Look at everything I got, and I ain't even tripping on him. Because I'm like, she did not look remorseful in that joint.
She didn't.
She was just like,
she wouldn't even call it what it was.
Yeah, she wouldn't even call. She the one in pictures with August with his arm all around her. The dude made a song. The dude told what's the little girl, the whack chick from Breakfast Club, whatever her name is. The dude told her. Yeah. The dude told her, I can die now.
He did.
He was like, I can die now. And I've, tasted the glory, I guess.
Like, Lord. He didn't say that.
I added in the taste of the glory. But it's she just.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
All right, what up, Open Mind? He up in here.
Oh, I didn't know if y'all could hear me or not. I was just listening to y'all talk.
Now I can hear you.
Now I make sure my mic was on. Okay. How y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, NERDSoul?
What up, Open Mind in the spot?
I have been listening. I kind of came to the show late. I didn't know you started so quick, man. I thought you would start later. But
NERDSoul be on time.
He did. Listen, to Nerd's defense, he did inbox me and tell me earlier today. This was like noon today, right? That he was gonna do a show today. But I'm on Central Time. He's on West Coast time, so I got the time mixed up. So please don't beat me down, folks. I am here. But listen, I have some information to bring to the podcast tonight that I don't think y'all know about the situation. I have exclusives. I have actual statements, and I have actual context to what happened with Will Smith and Rock. So I'm going to read. This is Will Smith's open. This is his public statement as to what happened. Y'all hear me out. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior last night at the Academy Awards is unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but the joke about Jada's medical condition was way too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed that my actions were not indicative to the man that I want to be. There's no place for violence in the world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everybody watching around the world. I would like to apologize to Will's family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret my behavior. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I'm a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. That's Will Smith's statement, right? Okay, so there's some context there as to why he reacted. This is Will Smith giving us his reason for acting out and acting crazy. Now, Chris Rock has made a statement. This is Chris Rock's words. I'm gonna read them to y'all. As a comedian, it can be difficult to understand which lines are to be crossed and which lines aren't. Last night, I crossed the line that I shouldn't have and paid the enormous price for my reputation as a renowned comedian. Comedy is never about poking fun at or making light of people with major ordeals happening in their lives. Comedy is about using real life circumstances to create laughter and bring light to an otherwise dark world. with that said, I sincerely apologize to my friends Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, and the rest of the Smith family for the disrespect and disregard I displayed, which was unfortunately broadcast for the world to see. I hope that with time, forgiveness can come in this situation and we can all be better, more considerate people in the end. Chris Rock has owned the part that he played, and Will Smith owned the part that he played. And that's why I wanted to say, from the horses' mouths, both horses spoke about this, and I think all of us need to pump our brakes a little bit and let people just be human, make their mistakes. We have our opinions about how people carry ourselves, but these men have hugged it out, squashed it, let it go. Chris Rock ain't tripping. Chris Rock ain't trying to charge him, trying to put him in jail and trying to make a light of a situation. So I think all of us should respect that and let us recognize that both of these men have already talked face to face, hashed it out, and acknowledged both of their wrongdoings. So I don't know what more we need for them to do for us as a people as to hold them accountable if they're already holding themselves accountable. That's what I wanted to say. And I wanted to restart with that statements that they both made because nobody has heard from them. Well, I got the written statement right here from both men. And I personally, where I stand with it all, after hearing both of them speak, I have to pull myself back and say, all right, God bless both of them. Can't really give no more opinion now because they both done already owned it. Apologize to us, apologize to each other, and it's over with. It's not what we thought it was. They've already squashed it.
Now, go ahead, Lisa.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I hope they can completely squash it, and I hope they can, get this whole thing back together. But honestly, the thing is, we can still, talk about what we really think it was. They didn't really say what it really was. You know what I mean? Will didn't really say
maybe
what
not.
Really was.
Maybe not, but
I mean, look, they're celebrities, and we're interested, and that's what it really comes down to. You know what I mean? And like I said earlier, we don't know these people. We don't know these people. We don't know. You know what I mean? We have, they could walk into their house every day and go and sing, and we would never know. They could have been a totally different person the whole time. We've seen them, but they're celebrities, and we want to talk about it. And at the same time, whatever they're giving us is who we think they are, because that's what they're giving us.
Right.
So when they do something outside of who they're giving us, it's something to talk about.
I had a Will Smith moment before I called in today, an actual Will Smith moment at the gas station like 2 hours ago. But I didn't slap him. But I went off. I'm going to tell y'all what happened.
Thank you for not slapping nobody.
Y'all can hold me. This is another black man, too. It's crazy. It's crazy how this confrontation with somebody look like me. But I'm going to go ahead and sit in the hot seat and let y'all hold me accountable for my actions. Okay, so here's how it happened. I'm coming home from work. Just on my way home, I stopped at the gas station just to, put some gas in the car because I'm on E, right? And it was a gas station hut. Like, them huts that got 2 doors on each side. So I pulled up on the left side of the hut, that little pump right there, and I walked right into the left side of the door. Now, somebody standing at the register, he checking out, and then from the right door, this little African guy running in talking about, hey, sir, I've been waiting outside. I'm like, okay, bro, all right, I ain't say nothing. I let him go ahead and get in front of me. So it's his turn to check out, and I'm waiting. I'm inboxing Nerd at the time. We talk about the show, right? Talk about this inboxing me about the lives tonight. So as me, I'm focused on Nerd's inbox, and this man is checking out. He asked for gas and a lottery ticket. He paid for his gas and his lottery ticket, which took him 15 minutes to play with this card he's playing with, right? Finally check out. So now everybody here and see the receipt. She handed him the receipt and everything. He gonna stand there and scratch off his lottery ticket right there, right? And then he's trying to play with the little scanner thing right there to see if he won. So now I'm Will Smithing right now. I am boiling. Right? Listen to me. Follow along with me. I'm gonna get
y'all. You just want to get home.
And then y'all can just grill me. Okay, so here's what I do. I start off with a low tone as my voice starts to raise up. I said, brother, Do you know
I knew that was
Hold on. We knew brother was going to be first thing he said. We knew. Because you get your humble hands together and you be like, brother.
Listen, he's African. He's an African brother. And I'm already like, it's conflicting. That's the word. It's very conflicting for me, right? So check this out. I said, brother, you're being rude, right? He don't turn all the way around. He just kind of turn his neck like the exorcist back at me, but keep his back face forward and stuff like, what do you mean I being rude? What is this rude? What are you talking about? I said, brother, now my voice getting higher. Brother, a little bit high. I said, what did you say to me when you came in this gas station? Now he turned around and faced me because my voice getting raised up. But as he turned around and faced me, his head is on my chest because I'm 6'3", 270 pounds. I'm a big guy. And he turned back and his nose hit my chest, right? Sir, what is going on here? What's happening? I said, you came in this gas station and said, I've been waiting outside, brother. Did you not say that to me? Yes, I did, because I had been waiting outside. I said, and you're going to stand right here and scratch off your lottery ticket after you pay for it and make me wait on you? Get the F out my mother effing way. So I just cussed him out, right? The little old lady behind the counter, she said, it's these Negroes about to fight. So it was the old lady, the old black lady working at the gas station behind the little bulletproof glass that calmed me down. I looked at her eyes and I saw the disappointment in her face that me and this brother is in this gas station hollering, screaming. I'm hollering and screaming. He just looking. So listen.
Because you already in the hood, because he got bulletproof glass.
It's not a hood situation. It was just a gas station on a busy street. He wasn't in the hood. He was being rude. That man came in there to let me know he had been waiting outside. He didn't want me to cut in front of him. I didn't argue. I showed that man respect. I backed up and let him get in front of me, nodding my head, yes, brother. On some African stuff. Yes, brother. Whatever.
On a Pan-African.
Get in front of me. And you're going to stand here and scratch off your ticket, and then whether you won or not, I said, man, I should slap you right now. So I said, I'm not proud of this. I just want to tell y'all, I want to give y'all a real life scenario that's not a rich man slapping another rich man.
All I want to know is, was it a winning ticket?
Listen.
No.
He stepped to the side. To the side. He let me pay for my little gas. I swing the door open. I'm storming towards my truck. Mother F cussing to myself, right? I disrespect me. I'm talking to myself. Man, I'll show you respect. You disrespect me. I'm walking to my truck. That's what I'm saying to myself, right? I'm like a homeless man walking around talking to myself. I'm walking to my truck. I show a man respect. You gonna disrespect me in return? Got me effed up. Got me. So I get to my truck. I put the gas in the car and I skirt off. And I left. I didn't physically attack him. And that's what happened 3 hours ago. I wanted to tell y'all that. Now I'm gonna sit in the hot seat and get this butt whooping I'm finna get.
So I think on top of the apology, I think it's just like, I'll speaking just for me, for Will's apology. It's like, both of their apologies. I think like for me, working in the industry, I haven't seen a lot of stuff like that play out live on television. Especially for being in an industry like that. So like, I think for me, it's the shock of seeing something that is so unplanned take place. And it's different from the La La Land, Moon Knight controversy. It's different from Kanye, Taylor back in the day, or Little Mama, Jay-Z, Alicia Keys. This is like a truly
forgot about that
thing. So it's like, for me, I'm like, the shock of it doesn't wear off easily because you haven't, it's like you wouldn't believe that actually happens. But there's a couple things in the chat that I wanted to bring up. Someone brought up, I think it was Alan Lewis, said, I just wanted to be on fly on the wall to the car ride home because I know Jada was smiling, still thinking about August and Tupac.
Oh, man. Like, okay, so, all right. So, go on, Clement, go on, because I got thoughts on that one.
No, like, I was just like, yeah, I mean, Will is the opposite of, from what we know of Will. he is different, way different than Tupac, way different than August.
That's the understatement of the year, but yeah.
So, and definitely an understatement, but also just kind of like, maybe that's part of it too for Will. Maybe he feels like he's felt emasculated in media leading up to this moment. So this was his moment to, instead of having a moment like on Red Table Talk, like Lisa was talking about earlier, where Jada should have at least acknowledged the feelings of her man. Not even done a lot, just acknowledge the feelings of what he was going through.
Can I say something, y'all?
That was kind of something. So I'm like, I don't know. It's a very interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
And you can't scream on Jada. You know what I'm saying? You can't, because then they're going to be like, look at how violent he screamed at her and stuff. So you can't scream on your woman. So it's like, who you got? I mean, I guess you can't beat up August either, but I don't know. Because in his speech, he was like, I'm a fierce defender of my family. And I was just like, but she wasn't under attack.
Right. It was like that's something that
you just bald. You just bald. There's nothing wrong with being bald. But like people like I'm not bald, but my hair is thin at the top, so I cut it bald. You don't see me like mad people go bald early. I know alopecia is a medical issue. I know it's a medical issue, but it's very similar to early onset balding or male pattern baldness when dudes be going bald at like 25. She is not, trust me, she doesn't need blood transfusions. She ain't going to get dialysis. She's not getting chemo. She's bald and it's not cool, but she's just bald.
Well, this is
that's it.
I don't want to go into, how her, how big her feelings should be, how small her feelings should be, what people handle it differently, right? Women handle it differently. So it could be very emotional for her, especially since her looks are very important for whenever she does get an acting role, So, sorry, that was shady by mistake, but
she ain't getting nothing after that joining the Matrix.
Only person that sees that this is all comedy gold, like this is all comedy. We should all be laughing at this. To me, it's funny. I mean, I understand the serious side of it as far as like the moralist in our behavior, and we're supposed to act right. And I understand not acting a fool as black folks, but at the end of the day, man, this is hilarious.
Well, now
it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you though, for me, and I know a lot of women don't feel this way. I really don't care. For me, my biggest issue is Jada, because I feel like she is leading him by his nose, right? I have to go back to he seems to be almost obsessed with this woman.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like all of his problems, you can follow a trail and they end right at her feet. And she's just like over there filing her nails, like, okay, whatever.
The same thing. So I can't, nerd, like my wife said what she said, like really, literally word for word verbatim what she just said. So we'll let the women know how to call out other women. I just sit back and listen.
Because if you really think about it, because they talked about this, the way their whole relationship started, Will came after her. When he was already hot and popping and she was just kind of trying to make her way, he came after her and pretty much said to her, "You my woman." So she didn't even have to try and get Will Smith. Will Smith came for her. And I feel like from day one, she like, oh, well, I just got it like that. So I'm not even pressed.
So let me ask you this, because since my wife said this and you said this, I want to ask you, because I just want to keep it in the realm of funny. So it's not that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, he slapped Jada.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. He was slapping Chris Rock.
He slapped Chris Rock, but he was really slapping Jada.
He was slapping, he was really, in his mind, he was slapping Jada and everyone who's been clowning him because of Jada. That was who Chris Rock was. Yeah. Chris Rock was Jada and everybody on the internet.
He's slapping Jada.
So no, really, like literally, like Jada. That's what I'm saying. Because my wife said, did you see how he got up? He was laughing at first. He looked over at her, and then he was like, because she was making fun of me, right? My wife was making fun of me because I kind of have that that me and Will Smith got a similar personality. Well, my temper out of control sometimes when it comes to her and these kids. I own mine though. Y'all ain't got to judge me. I know I ain't got no sense. So I'm gonna tell you right now. But listen, she said, did you see how he got up? That's you right there. Because he looked over at her, he was having a good time, and then she wasn't, and he was like, oh, I got to get up and slap. Damn, I got to slap.
Now I got to slap Chris. Because my wife ain't happy.
But I got
that's
to
what it
because
looked
you
like.
mad.
That's exactly what it looked like. Again, we don't know. We weren't there. There were cuts in the scenes and all this but that's how it came off. Like he was just going to hee it off. He may not have thought it was funny. It may have stung him, but he was like, I'm going to keep on. I'm going to put on his face. We on national TV. Look, me and Chris can have a talk later. But when he looked over at her and she burned a hole in his forehead with them eyes, he was like, oh Lord.
He was like, all right, let me, he walked up and he was like, slick clack.
Oh my God. And the thing is, it is outside of the character that we know of him. It would be different, if everybody know you act like a fool and you get up and do that. But it's like, this isn't the Will Smith that we know. This isn't the Will Smith that he's given us.
Yeah. Because I didn't even believe it. When somebody said it on Twitter, I started getting text messages and I saw it on Twitter and I was like, there's no way Will didn't hit nobody.
Well, when you called me from the other room and told me, I said, you lying.
Yeah. Like nobody, I think it's because no one in Black culture believed it. Will does not hit people. That would be like, if you told me that Will and Jada was arguing in a Walmart parking lot, I'd be like, no. Like, yes.
First of all, they don't shop at Walmart. First of all, they don't do their own shopping.
Pookie and Tonquinaisia's doing it, but not Will and Jada. They're not doing that.
Maybe Will Smith has never been the Fresh Prince at all, and he always been an ignorant Negro from Philly. And I think, I don't think that that's okay or bad. I just think that we all have lied to ourselves and thought that we thought that he was Men in Black. The galaxy, we thought he was goofy in Philly, and we thought that Will Smith ain't got no sense. I am not proud of myself, but I'm just telling y'all that I ain't got no doggone sense when it comes to my wife and my kids. I ain't got no sense. So leave us alone so I can care. So I ain't got to slap nobody because I don't want to slap folks. So I ain't looking for nobody to slap.
But you will.
I'm not proud of it. I'm just being honest. Now y'all let God deal with me.
I think over my head on something though. The Will Smith that we have come to know since Fresh Prince days, Summertime's days, has been a very carefully constructed image.
Right. Yeah.
Because he has talked about in that same GQ article that I was talking about earlier, he talked about all the struggles the things that he saw his father do. Mm-hmm. And at some point, as a kid, you're going to pick up on that. How it influences you and plays out in your mind and your actions is a whole different thing.
Yeah, so maybe he don't aim his abuse at his family like his father did, but he probably aims it outward. But it's in you. It's in you.
Exactly. At some point, it's going to surface. So the Will Smith, like I'm saying, we have come to know has been very carefully constructed to present a digestible view of let's just call it what it is, a Black man, because we know our people. But for people who don't know our people, that's a carefully constructed image. And I think that was the first time last night that anybody saw. I mean, we saw bits and pieces here. There was that one slap with that guy who tried to kiss him on the red carpet.
Yeah, but that was actual physical contact.
Right.
Like
that was actual contact.
that was warranted. We were all like, we get it.
Right.
Come to think about it, Will Smith been slapping people for a while. Will Smith been slapped a few people on camera. That not think about it.
Will has only slapped like one person, man. Come on.
Who did he slap?
No, he slapped a little French reporter. He slapped somebody else at the MTV back when TRL was out. I just can't remember.
He did?
I don't remember exactly. Yeah, when TRL was out, and you know how TRL always got the crowds and stuff. He went on TRL and somebody got too close to him and he kind of smushed their face. Not like a slap, but like a smush in the face. You know how like Will Smith got a track record of slapping folks. I just noticed that he always slapping people. What's wrong with him?
So All right, so now I did want to bring out some stuff because there's been people saying that this is masculine, some people saying that this is simping. So there's been people like, oh yeah, that's black masculinity. See, that's what y'all afraid to see. Y'all afraid to see, you know what I'm saying, somebody come out and be strong. And somebody was like, nah, man, he's soft. And somebody made a great argument in a Twitter thread that I was tagged in. So this guy said, hold on, let me scroll to it. He said, his wife disrespects him. This comes from Bunjetty at Breddy Bunjetty. Hey man, look, I'm gonna see if I can get it. Breddy Bunjetty. There we go.
Bunjetty. Okay.
Bunjetty. Yeah. So he's said his wife disrespects him on a bi-monthly basis. That slap was not in response to Chris Rock's joke. That was in response from years of her abusing him. And then goes on to say, if LeBron would have ran up on stage when Wanda Sykes made a joke about them CGing his hairline in Space Jam, we would have called him soft. Let's keep it real. We have made fun of LeBron's hair forever.
Right.
I think that's not a fair comparison to say Wanda Sykes, because now we're hitting women. And but what I'm saying is like to do that.
What I'm saying is, if he would have got angry enough to slap somebody for a hairline joke, they would have been like, "Yo, man, LeBron soft," because people love saying LeBron soft.
No, but I think that person is being disingenuous when they described it. Okay, they painted that picture. I get you. Right? This is what I'm saying. They painted this picture of LeBron not being able to take a joke. I get that. What I'm saying is, if it was a female telling the joke, I don't think LeBron or Will Smith would have slapped a woman. I think we need to take it. I think we need to quit overreacting. And if we're gonna use a comparison or try to compare apples to oranges, compare apples and oranges and oranges. Because Wanda Sykes is a female, and a male should not be hitting a female. So I think he should have put a different comedian in that example. Like, let's say not Wanda Sykes, but another male comedian making a joke about LeBron's hairline, and then LeBron slaps that male comedian. That's why I say the context.
He was just bringing that up because Wanda was actually there.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I will say this though. Now that we're kind of on the topic, if this was a situation where Will had hit a woman, it wouldn't have gone down the same way. They would have stopped the show. Everyone would have crowded around her. It would have been over and done. But
that's why I say that's not the Wanda Sykes in there like that. Right, that's a little bit of a stretch.
I do think it's kind of crazy that the whole attention was put on Will versus can we check on the man that was actually slapped, because y'all ain't put the camera on him yet. I mean, is he all right?
They was like, don't worry about Chris, he good.
Everybody hates Chris.
But Chris for however wrong he was with that joke, he moved that along really nicely.
He did.
He literally deadpanned and was like, Will Smith just slapped the S out of me. And it was like,
and it's like he looked to the producers or whoever he was looking to on the side, like, well, are y'all gonna stop the show? What we gonna do? And they like, nope. He like, well, all right.
They keep on moving.
Hey, he handled it with grace. I respect Chris Rock in a different regard. My respect for Chris Rock is that instead of responding with the Negro moment, that we call it the Negro moment, and having that escalate, and instead of pressing charges and dealing with the justice system that we say we don't like, but we love to call them on each other when something go down. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's now the conversation shifting, because it's like, we want to press charges. He should be in jail. Like, wait a minute. I thought we didn't like the police. I thought police was brutality. I thought the justice system was unfair to black folks. Now suddenly we want some charges filed. Like, Chris Rock responded with grace and love for his brother. So while we don't condone the Negroisms, we do praise the love that we can have a conflict with amongst ourselves, which I think is another learning lesson that we're not missing, is that black brothers, like myself tonight, and those of us around who have had their altercations, you can have an altercation and it don't turn to violence. And if it does turn to violence, y'all can still come back and love on each other instead of putting each other behind bars or calling them people on each other to make it even worse. When y'all just probably lost y'all temper for a minute. Brothers do that. I'm not gonna act like on this live stream that I ain't never cussed my brother out. We ain't never threw hands, but my brother will come see about me if I call him and say, bro, come see about me. So confrontations happen amongst us as black men, but how we handle those confrontations in the end, when it's all said and done, them men hugged each other and showed each other love, and they ain't get them people involved. So I respect Chris Rock that he handled it with grace in that regard, minus the getting slapped in the face and being shocked about it. His reaction to it was graceful and from a place of love. Even though he was attacked, he understood the energy, which takes a lot of emotional intelligence on Chris Rock's part to understand, I just got slapped. Should I fight this guy or should I show him love in return? And I showed him love in return because there was pain in that slap versus attack in that slap. And a lot of us as black men need to know how to recognize where another black man is coming from in his emotions, who want to come at us foul. Everything ain't got to lead to be an enemy. We can hash it out. We can disagree, even cuss at each other. But when we're done and that energy is dissipated, we need to find that love, because we still need each other in the end of the day. And our enemy is not each other.
Yeah.
But I think that connects back to what NERDSoul was saying a minute ago about, some people are saying it was feminine, some people are saying it was masculine. I think some men probably respond one way or another because they're thinking in their minds, I'm not going to let him, quote, punk me.
I think it's human.
Yeah.
It's a human response is what I say. I won't put a gender on it, because when you genderize actions minus certain actions, you kind of muddy the waters. And there's sects of men, just like there's sects of women in our society who try to put titles on behaviors and try to say a real woman does this, a real man does that. And a lot of people are speaking from their own personal life experiences and boxing everybody into their box. And I think that's not fair to try to say what's feminine behavior, what's masculine behavior, when all of us are born from our mamas and daddies, and we all have both energies inside of us, no matter what gender we identify as.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. I just think some people have that in their mind, and they respond in a certain way because they're concerned about how other people see them versus what they feel like they should really do. And I don't think the behavior from Chris Rock or the behavior from Will is either masculine or feminine. It's other issues going on that, like you say, have no gender. We've been talking about. I feel like everything that happened with Will is much, much deeper, than a joke. And the way Chris Rock handled it is much, much deeper than, oh my God, I just got hit. Like you said, I think he had the emotional intelligence to kind of be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I think
this isn't about this joke.
Yeah, I think he looked at Will and was like, all right, something going on. I don't know what it is. Because for a second, you kind of see his comedian brain turn on, like, dude, if it's gotta be like that, let me really go in. But then you see him kind of like look at Will and he like, all right, something going on, so I'm gonna let this be. And that's one thing I'll give. I hope people notice this, even though we've been having our fun, we're gonna continue having our fun, but notice that the elders came in with wisdom, not foolishness, but wisdom. And the youth received that wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Samuel L. Jackson and Denzel Washington stepped in and squashed it all. They was like, yo, y'all acting a fool. And Will Smith was like, yes, sir. And Chris Rock was like, yes, sir.
And that actually was beautiful to see. That actually really, I don't, we don't know exactly what was being said except for the quote they gave from Denzel, but it was beautiful to see, honestly.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, if that would have been anybody else than Chris, we would have had a full stage brawl on stage. It would have been. If that would have been Kevin Hart, Cat Williams.
Cat Williams would have been.
If that would have been anyone else, it would have been a wrap. They would have probably had to shut that show down right then and there.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, because Cat Williams strikes me as someone. Well, not even strike. He's evidenced that he's someone that after that slap, he would have been like, I'm about to say the raunchiest, nastiest, worst stuff. I've been writing material for your wife and everything she's been doing for the last 2-3 years, and I'm about to unload. So I'm glad it did happen to someone like Chris Rock, because then once Cat went, it probably would have been.
It would have been.
Because look, you got the Roman Coliseum, people out there laughing, and you know it's Cat Williams. He's funny. So you know it's not like it's going to be unfunny stuff. So it's going to be funny, and it's going to be bad. I mean, look, Cat Williams almost got killed by the radio host's husband. Remember when he brought a gun to the club? Yep. Just on the radio, when she was talking about cooking food or something, and he went off on her.
Well, you know, in all fairness, she wouldn't let it go. She didn't know when to stop.
Mm-hmm. She kept going in on him about like going to jail or something like that. But
is there a mental health aspect to all of this amongst Black men that we're not seeing?
I think
so. For Will, yes. I think for Will, yes.
Just Black men, period. Like I think because this is said to us as a whole, as Black men, that we need to seek therapy and stop being so stubborn about talking to a therapist and all that stuff. And I want to challenge that notion as if we're reluctant to get help. The thing is, getting help is not so easily accessible as people think. There's help for your mental health, like sit down and talk to somebody about the problem. You know, that stuff's expensive. Mm-hmm. But that's not the only avenue, but that is the avenue that people send you to. But let's break down what an exchange between you and a psychiatrist is. A psychiatrist is a safe place for you, a safe space for you to be vulnerable and talk about things that are maybe very unbecoming of yourself, but you want to talk to this individual, get it off your chest and let them diagnose you however that goes. Here's the thing. Those of us who can't afford that psychiatrist still yet need a safe space to talk about whatever we're dealing with. I myself included have dealt with things. I got brothers and cousins, male Black cousins, who deal with issues wrong because they don't know how to deal with issues because we haven't been taught. And I'm gearing towards mental health. So I'm saying, not only should we Black men not only does Black men should talk to somebody, therapist or somebody that cares, but the people who are receiving the talk, you're the listener to the individual who's being vulnerable to you. You should create a safe space for them in your responses to what they are about to say to you. I'm gonna give you 90% of the time, if somebody call you to vent about a thing that they did that they're not proud of, or a thing that they're struggling with, a demon that they're battling with, it's somewhere in that story, you're gonna hear them maybe putting themselves in that circumstance, or maybe not knowing what to do to get out of it, and they may be kind of continuing their own destruction. But that's not your place to say it in that moment. Maybe that response is not exactly the help you think you're giving them. You could very well be pushing them on the edge. And so to think that Black men are not trying to seek help is a lie. I think they just don't know where help is because we've been told that nobody cares about your problems. Get over it, suck it up, be a man, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can't cry, you can't have a problem. Get over it, get over it, get over it, get over it. That is very dismissive. And when you do that from childhood to adulthood as a Black man, you grow up bottling things up, and then they eventually come out, but they come out in a form of violence. They come out in the form of domestic violence. They come out in the form of losing friendships. You and your boys have an argument that's probably really small, but it escalated big. The argument was very small, but it's something triggered in you to make you hit your homeboy. It's not the argument that y'all mad about. It's the stuff that you've been bottling up that you haven't spoken about because you don't think you can speak about it because nobody wants to hear it. You can't see all of these things that a Black man goes through as he hears somebody diminishing him with their foot in his neck, telling him to get over himself, get some help, seek some help, blah, blah, blah. That's very dismissive. Rich and poor. I think as a Black man in this nation, we're going through enough racial disparities as it is outside of whatever issues we have within our own people. And I think that mental health thing, because a white man could go get some help for his mental health. A white man could break down and slap somebody in public and we'll jog it off as him having a mental health issue. But a Black man loses his mind in public and we crucify the Black man for reacting and maybe unbecoming, but we don't give him the same benefit of the doubt that the white man gets when he acts out in public. He gets the mental health stigma. We get the crazy, angry black man.
Now, peep this. Fillmore Pockets comes through, and I wanna ask Clement what he thinks, because we talked about this a little bit before, like a while back. But he said, I think brothers out here like Will Smith trying to present themselves as model minorities to advance their career, especially need mental counseling. And that I see where you're coming from, because there's this, you want to make a certain dominant society so happy and so enamored by your charisma, and you're safe and you're not dangerous and blah, blah, blah. But then you still want your people to know that you're down. And it kind of goes in line to, Clement and I were having this conversation about wanting people in jobs. Like, we want someone working there, we want someone working there, and hire black people here. And we were like, going down this line of, a lot of times we're asking that black person to be the only one there. And they're going to have to do this type of stuff to kind of like, to, run the rat race, to play the game, to, the things you got to do that we all got to do to kind of like be at the job. You know what I'm saying? And Will has been at the Hollywood job for 30 years, 20 years, something like, how long has it been? Like 30?
It's been a while. It's been like 30 years.
Close to 30 years.
Sometimes you lose yourself in that. Yeah.
And you do. And like, I think the one thing that we're kind of talking about is mental health, especially as black men, regardless of someone like Will, you got to think 30 years, this man has been code switching in public and he's had to been code switching in rooms because he's also a producer. He's also a musician. So he's had to play multiple hats, but he's also a public figure. And when you're going through something like that, it's like, Will Smith is liked by everyone, but you gotta kind of think about the mental strain as a black man that you're going through over that time period.
And that's what I'm speaking to, the mental health of something like that.
And it's like, and me and Mike have had this conversation. It's like, I've on other podcasts like our Dope Yo Dope podcast, it's very much like we talk about stuff like that all the time. I'm not scared to admit, like, the mental health stuff I'm going through, I talk to someone, but it's like also like in terms of improving myself, not giving this stuff to my future kids, but also trying to put myself in a better place so maybe I can be in the job that I need to be in. So I don't have to feel that pressure. But it's also, I know that, hey, it's okay to just be myself. But someone like Will, you got to imagine, like, he is going through that mental strain, and also he's had kids. There's just a lot of layers to peel back. So like, it's
probably the people that he takes care of, like, from the money he makes, and
money he makes. Like, and he's talked about, like, when he was making Wild Wild West, he was upset that they didn't make $10 million more or something like that. And he called as a producer. He's like, why weren't we number one globally? And his producer hung up on him because he's kind of tried to do this thing of perfection for so long. And now we're starting to see that kind of go away. It's starting to kind of, that facade is slowly getting torn down. And you're seeing who Will Smith as a person. He's not the perfect, polished black man that we all thought. And that is fine. Yeah. That is all fine to not to be perfect and like polished, but also when you have an image like that has been curated over time, there's no time there. Eventually that is going to fall by the wayside.
And I honestly think that's what the immediate tears were about after he slapped Chris Rock and he went back to his seat. I think very quickly he realized what he had done to this image that had been created. And I really think that's what those tears were about. And I think he went kind of into a state of panic and how can you fix this? What can he do? What has he done? All of that. And I also wanted to say, as a Black woman, just listening to all of you talk about this, I think it's important as Black women for us to just be there to support you all. Point blank, period. Not to tell you how you're supposed to feel, how you're supposed to behave, what you should do, just to be there to support, give you encouragement, give you a little bit of guidance, just let you know that, you're not alone and we have your back. And that's it. And let you do what you need to do as men, to support each other and, get the help that you need, get the guidance that you need, and, seek someone that's an elder that can kind of give you some help. Be there for another man, to be that help and that wisdom for him. You know, like a lot of times I've lived, you know, long enough to understand. A lot of times when men want to get together, it's not because he's trying to get away from you. He's just trying to be with his brothers. You know, when y'all say y'all want to go and watch a game or go get wings, it's not always about the game and the wings.
Yeah,
it's about
it's the brotherhood. Yeah,
it's the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Just like when women want to get together, it's not so we can, you know, get together and drink a whole bottle of wine. For some women, it is. That's a whole other issue. But it's about that's another show. But it's about the sisterhood, you know, and being together. And it's just, you know, we need to learn as Black women to stay in our lane and just be there and be supportive.
I think that's a note. It's like, in this, we kind of I saw a little of this happening last night, but not to the effect of like the memes and everything. Like, I think there's a bigger part of you have no idea what someone is living through.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like, and I don't want to bring it up, I'm not trying to force it in, but like the issue of Chadwick, when everybody was clowning Chadwick back in the day, really
about him
being small, and people were like, oh, what's this man doing? Is he getting ready for a role? Like, why is he even laughing at him? And then a few months later, you find out the man died for cancer. So it's like, you have no idea what someone is going through, regardless of the public image or the facade that they put out. That's something that they want you to see, not actually what is actually going on.
Yeah. And I even when that was happening, I just passed it off. I was like, oh, he's probably doing it for a role. Because what was his name? Was it Batman got real bony for a role? Then there was another guy, can I think of his name? But they got like 50 Cent got real small for a role. That football movie he did. So I just assumed, I was like, oh, he's probably doing it for a role. And I just completely threw it out of my mind. I was like, oh yeah, he's probably doing a movie. And that was it. But you know, of course, sometimes there's things that might be going on that we throw out that, you know, that could be serious. So I did want to highlight that it was great to see the elders come in. Yeah. And they weren't foolish. I'm not talking about drunk Uncle Willie. I'm talking about elders, respectable elders came in, and then the youth received those elders, you know what I'm saying, and their counsel, you know what I'm saying? So they weren't like, I don't want to hear nothing. You don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? They were like, all right, cool. I'm listening to the wise counsel, and wise counsel was being provided. So that I thought that was dope about it. That was nice. You know what I'm saying?
I think like Denzel brought a calm over that situation. Because when Will went on stage, you wouldn't have known that stuff popped off 30 minutes before. Like,
true.
There was a calm, and even like, you know, I just appreciate how Denzel, and you even saw tears in Denzel's eyes because he was really scared for Will. He was really like, yo, what's happening, man? I've known you for so long and I haven't seen the side of you before. So like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And I think if that had been on the other side of that, if that had been anyone younger, what would have been either? So I think like, kind of like on what Open Mind is, they've said their apologies. We've analyzed the situation. Now time to move on. There will eventually be a Red Table Talk episode of this, probably. But
probably so. Because you know, Jada got to get people to watch the show. You know what I'm saying? Jada got to get.
But it's gonna become about her, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be how. It's going to be how fake deep she is. And like,
I used to watch Red Table Talk, and I say used to, right? I stopped watching after the Entanglement episode, right? I just couldn't do it anymore. And my issue is I think, and I actually commented on somebody's post about this. I hope that the two of them, Will and Chris, come together and they hug it out and they have really a raw, honest conversation about everything. And I hope they do it in private. I hope they do it in private where there are no cameras, there's no reporter, there's no Jada, there's nothing and nobody. Honestly, I hope that's how they do it. Because if they do it on Red Table Talk, it's going to become about Jada.
Yep.
And this ain't about her.
Jada, she got to get fake deep.
It won't about Jada's
she's going to talk
alopecia.
About, how black women are beat up or something. It's gonna be like,
this wasn't about Jada. It wasn't about her alopecia. It wasn't about the joke. It wasn't about any of that. I believe. And so I don't, it's gonna be on Red Table Talk. Of course it is. But
they were like, I just experience this is how I see Jada. No matter what she's doing at the Red Table Talk, this is what I see. I feel that's how I feel when I see her. I'm like, here she goes. This girl done read a couple self-help books, and now all of a sudden here she goes.
I've never actually watched not any episode of Red Table Talk because, and it's not that I'm being mean. I just, as a guy, I'm a sports guy, gamer guy, not interested in the gossip talk like that, the girl talk shows, so to speak. Now I listen to women talk, but when she said she was doing Red Table Talk, I caught a clip and I was like, oh, she doing that type of stuff? No, I'm good. I don't want to watch that. I thought it was a reality TV show. I kind of like passed it off. But from what I know about it is the things that everybody discussed. Every episode, the August Alsina stuff and the entanglement.
Yo, that entanglement joint was foul.
Because the internet speaks about it. But I really don't know the details because honestly, I have not been keeping up with the Smiths like that. Outside of the little, I follow Will Smith on Instagram and YouTube. So of course I watched the little movies he's made, the King Richard movie and the little stuff he does when he on YouTube. But I don't follow their relationship. I didn't outside of the memes and the discussion amongst people in the public square. I personally didn't watch none of those episodes. So I really don't know anything to even offer an opinion. I'm aware of it, but I've never actually watched that show, the Red Table Talk. Just wasn't interested in it. It wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't care about it. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm glad, I'm happy for Jada. You know, I ain't really watched that joint. So, because for me, what's entertaining for me isn't those types of conversations. I didn't feel that talking about their infidelity applied to my circumstance. So I'm not getting nothing from this. So what is this? I don't care. I cut it off. You know what I'm saying? You know, it just wasn't nothing interesting to me. But of course, I understand, according to what everybody's saying about what has taken place on that show. Apparently, she's been putting their business in the street. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff boiled up. Maybe I was right. Because you said you stopped watching it. I ain't never started watching it.
Yeah, I couldn't anymore after, and I apologize, NERDSoul. I wrangled you into it. I apologize for that. But yeah, I couldn't anymore after that episode. I was honestly just so disgusted with how she handled it. I mean, her husband was sitting across the table from her, and you could see every emotion possible in his face sitting at that table. He looked like someone. She didn't care. He honestly physically looked like someone had punched him in the face 2 seconds ago. He was red. He was teary-eyed. You could see anger in him, his posture. It was just, and she did nothing to soothe her man, to calm her man, to lift it
was cold, yo. It was
to ensure him.
She was cold in that.
Nothing. Her body language, she had even crossed her legs in the chair. So instead of having her legs on the floor, she had crossed them up in the chair as if to create even more space between them. Right?
So he did slap Jada on stage.
Yeah, he slapped Jada. It's kind of like that episode of Atlanta that just came on, the second episode, when that promoter couldn't beat up Earn and he beat up the other dude. That's what Will was doing.
Yeah.
Or that video where it was a clip where somebody was at a hotel. The white woman slapped a black dude with dreads, and a black dude knocked her boyfriend out. Look,
I remember that.
That dude was swole. You could tell he lift weights. The big black dude with dreads. The white woman slapped him at the desk, at the clerk desk, and says, you know, men like myself, I don't hit women. So if a woman disrespect me, if her man right there, I'm knocking him out. I'm not gonna hit her. But if you standing there,
bro, like I ain't do that.
You didn't do nothing. But I don't hit women. Your woman is disrespecting me. So
look,
charge this to your wife.
I'm gonna say this as a woman. Some women won't disagree. Once again, I don't care. But if you are woman enough to hit a grown man in his face, you woman enough to take a hit. That's just my opinion, but there it is.
I'll say this:
well,
I'm not out there trying to hit women, but at the same time, you don't know what kind of dude you rolling up on. You know what I'm saying? You can't guarantee that's a dude that was raised to not hit women. You don't know who you rolling up on.
And what I'm saying is, I got a son, and I don't want, him to grow up and some woman is treating him like a punching bag. So what you not gonna do is be up in here hitting my son because I'm a woman. He can't hit. Oh, he can hit your back.
52 hand blocks. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing about that crazy that situation. I've seen abuse take place as a child growing up in my Black family, like men hitting women. I've seen abuse on both sides, the woman abusing the man abusing the woman. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, so I done seen all kind of craziness in the 80s. But what I'm saying is, it's very dangerous for guys to hit girls. Here's why. Even if she does attack you, even if she physically punches you in your face, disrespectfully, here's why it's dangerous for you as a man to hit her back. Even if you're defending yourself and you a man and you don't take no disrespect and all of that, here's why it's still dangerous. We already have women who lie on men and say they raped her, right? And until he can prove his innocence, he raped her because she said it without evidence. He raped me and I'm traumatized about it and he did it and that's that. And until it's litigated, we're going to crucify this guy, whoever this guy is, until he proves himself innocent and proves her a liar. So what would be any different if a man retaliates on a female who physically attacked him in public and say, well, she hit me first? What's going to happen to that man? He's going to get charges filed on him. Police coming to beat him down and arrest him. And he's going to have to prove that she hit him first because of the way we respond to violence against women. Even if a woman on camera slaps a man, punches a man on camera, you see that she's in the fault. You can see that she hit him first. If he knock her out, he's still wrong.
Yo, all right. This will be it because I know we had time. I know it's late for y'all. You know, I know it's. But there was that the bus driver, I think in Detroit, the bus driver that the woman was yelling all in his face, and then I think she spit in his, then I think she spit in his face, and he hit her with an uppercut. And
the tiger uppercut.
Yeah, he did her tiger
uppercut.
A super tiger uppercut. I'm talking about it. It was an EX move. It was
and she earned it. She earned every part of it.
But I remember all over the internet, all we saw was people saying how he could have did something different, how he should have left her alone, how he should have. I'm like, he's the bus driver. He can't leave. They were like, he should have left. He should have walked away. Everybody got all these should-haves. Now, nobody in the bus that saw her abusing him should have did nothing, though. There was no should-have. Like, they should have held her back. They should have told her to stop. They should have got in between them. They should have told her to sit down. They should have pushed her off the bus. None of that. Nobody else should have. No one should have stood in her way for nothing. But the second he retaliated, because she spit in his face, and he said, "That's it."
Yeah.
He said,
I like what she said earlier about how she said she would defend her son if he had some girl beating on him, because that's her holding women accountable for how they take advantage of their position. I love you for that. Thank you for saying what you say as a woman and holding women accountable for the when they take advantage of their position as the female species, that you can just say something as a woman and you'll be believed until proven to be a liar.
Yeah, so I'm a huge advocate of taking responsibilities as women. That's why don't nobody listen to the podcast that me and my cousin do, because and I'm fine with that.
Well, I appreciate you, Fro, because it's what Nerd just spoke to about being on a bus. She did all this hollering, screaming, and pissing, and spitting and scratching. And then when he knocked her out, that's when everybody wants to get up and get in the middle.
Yeah, that's when she got. That's when she got real feminine. It was like, I can't believe.
So in other words, what should have happened was that woman should have been held accountable before he even had to get up out of his seat. Somebody should have said, "Hey, woman, stop verbally assaulting this man. Stop whatever however they do it." A woman, not a man. A woman get up from the bus and say, "Hey, girl, you need to chill out."
Exactly. Her friend that came to her aid, talking about, "I can't believe you hit her." Where was you?
And I think I asked this. I saw a comedian posting about the Will Smith stuff, right? How Will Smith should be filed charges against, and he'd go to jail, and could have been me. I ain't Chris Rock. So what I said to to this unnamed comedian. I'm not gonna say his name. I typed this comment. He didn't respond. I know he mad in his feelings, but this is what I said. I said, no, Will Smith should not have attacked Chris Rock on stage. No comedian should have to be worried about being physically attacked on stage. True. But when is a comedian wrong? I got no answer for that question, but I'm going to put that rhetorical question into the ethers. Yes, they make jokes. Yes, that's their job to make jokes. And yes to everything, to everybody, every point that people want to make. So my question is, when is a comedian wrong? When? And because I say that because because a comedian wants to be able to say what they want to say and not get reprimanded for it. We all take Dave Chappelle's side, but the LBG community is coming for Dave Chappelle, whether we like them or not, or agree with them or not. They're coming for him because of his gay joke. So therefore, whether we agree with them or not, that group feels some type of way about his jokes. So then when is a comedian wrong? Even if they don't deserve to get slapped and they don't deserve to get attacked, true, but when is they wrong? When do we hold them accountable? Why do we let them just get away with stuff because they a comedian? Because there is some accountability in that question. I am for accountability. Hold me accountable for acting a fool in public. Hold me accountable for not paying my child support. Hold me accountable for hitting a woman. Hold me accountable for breaking. Hold me accountable. I will own it. When does a comedian get held accountable for what they say? Why is it that they can just say whatever because I'm a comedian? You're supposed to not respond and react, and you're supposed to laugh. Wait a minute. How is it that we all supposed to carry ourselves a certain way and conduct ourselves a certain way, but the comedian get to say whatever they want to say, and you're supposed to suck it up and take it because I'm a comedian? That right there is a scapegoat.
I'm gonna tell you what I think the real thing is. Nobody wants to call them out when they are wrong.
Yep.
Right.
Because in all reality, people know a lot of these jokes that we clutch our pearls at. We make those same jokes in private.
Yep.
Ain't nobody gonna admit to it.
Facts,
but we make those same jokes in private. So we're not gonna get up and say, I can't believe he said that, because your friend gonna be like, girl, you made that joke last night. Sit down.
Listen, let's not even talk about the things that are said in private.
It's tough because, I mean, comedians are supposed to, well, okay, comedy at its best, because there's a level of, there's provocateurs in the game as well. But comedians are supposed to take a very hard look at life or our society and turn it on a slant and make something funny about it. Now, I think comedians can be wrong when they're a hard line on one thing, if someone's always making fun of people with, I don't know, big ears. It's like, well, bro, you got something about people with big ears. But and I'm just being facetious right now. But if someone's talking about marriage and jobs and racism and, I don't know, music, and then it's kind of like, well, this person is actually doing the job. Now, I mean, they might, hit a line or something like that, but this person is doing the job that I guess a comedian's supposed to do. They're supposed to look at society weird. And I don't know when, I mean, the job is to make fun of something.
I think a comedian is wrong when he or she makes a joke about something that they know is hurtful.
Right.
You know that it's hurtful and you do it anyway.
Or you keep on poking at an issue. It's one thing to be like, have a stand-up act like that is the same night to night. But if you're always in public going in on that same issue that you know is hurtful,
yeah,
that's the thing. And I think kind of like what you said, Mike, at the top of it, like if Chris kept on going in on Jada, that would have been one thing. I don't still think it excuses Will's reaction, but if you kept on going in, it's like, all right, bro, like it's starting to get hurtful. It started when the audience is getting hurt. That's what it is.
Okay.
the audience
it was more of a kind of like, like a, like DL Euclid will come out and like a couple people in the crowd and, but then there's also maybe that's another thing. There is a comedy culture. And you know what, matter of fact, I'll leave it on that because we've been here, so I ain't gonna keep y'all all night.
We're about to go down another rabbit hole.
I know. But
that's a good question. That's a good question that would be a
good
topic for another show.
Kanye's a good rabbit hole, but go ahead.
Yeah, but no, there is a comedy culture. And because like me, I've gone to tons of comedy shows and I just kind of expect to like if I'm sitting in front, I expect someone's gonna make fun of me. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, oh, there's a fat guy right there, and they're gonna like do their little razzle dazzle and move on. And I mean, they're gonna pepper everybody. If there's a couple or something, they're gonna make fun of them, and they're gonna, somebody with a stupid shirt on, they're gonna make up, they're gonna, kind of thing. But there's a lot of people that don't go to comedy clubs a lot, and maybe the only comedy they see is like maybe like the special on HBO. So when they see like a cell phone video from some club, they're like, oh, and it's like nah, like we see this stuff like every Friday. And it's like, so maybe that's it. But I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. We will do that though. We will do that. So I'm gonna throw it over to Clement. Final thoughts and where they can find you.
Find me at Clement, Twitter, Instagram at Clement Bryant. Final thoughts. I think I am still mixed on the issue as I was at the top of the broadcast because I'm still just getting over the shock of it all, right? And it's not like clutching my pearls, like how could he? It's more of a, dang, did that really happen? Like, and I think it's like the disbelief between watching it on TV and versus being in the audience. Because if you were an audience, something, you would have had a different reaction. But that's where I'm gonna leave it at.
All right, open mind.
Oh, y'all hear me? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can find me at Open Mind, spell it with a Y on Twitter, and at I Am Open Mind, spell it with a Y on IG. My final thoughts is, I'm not shocked at all. I've never had any misconceptions about Will Smith as an individual. I knew the man was crazy from jump, crazy in a way that he's human, right? He's human, ain't nobody perfect. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse. Kanye's acting way crazier than Will Smith. So at the end of the day, I forgive him. I ain't tripping on it like that. These men that got past it, so I'm gonna get past it. That's how I feel.
All right. Lady Lisa?
My final comment is they apologize. They're gonna get together and eat somewhere really expensive and spend all kinds of money that we've never seen, and they're gonna be all right. So we should just move on with it. Yep. But as far as where you can find me, look, I'm at home taking care of this little boy. But you can actually check out some episodes of Black Together, A Walk in Her Shoes on NERDSoul's platform on YouTube, where we, talk about issues of Black couples, Black marriage, Black relationships from the point of view of Black women.
Oh, that's you that be on there? Okay, I didn't know that was you. Well, how you doing? I'm on the How you doing? I don't be knowing, nerd. I don't be knowing. I just don't be knowing.
That's my husband. You ain't know that. That's my husband.
No. I don't see your face. I don't see your face. I hear the voices and I don't be knowing who is who. I just show my respect. That's it. And listen, I am doing my best to stop cussing. Okay, I ain't gonna be cussing on Nerds stuff. I'm trying. I cuss a lot.
Look, that's between you and Jesus. It's all right.
Well, it's still, I still want to show my respect to my brother and his platform and watch my mouth and watch all this soap out of my mouth. I keep a bar of soap next to me. Me and Nerd do a show, so I quit cussing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna in closing. Chris Rock, Will Smith, feel free to come on the Nerd Table Talk. All right, feel free. Come to Death Row. All right, come on.
Come on, Dad.
Apparently, NERDSoul Light is on all kinds of he on this stream or that stream. He everywhere. So on the real, thank you guys for coming out, talking crazy with us for a little while. Shouts out to the chat, Tyler Bennett, Phil Pockets for the super chat. Y'all can always, hit a brother with a couple pennies. Feel free. Or if you ain't got a dime, feel free to share. share this stream. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Shouts to Algo C for them beats. Algorithm C, hit him up. Homie got beats, homie got albums. Check him out. Arcatron came through. ZSB Lou, Stress Free K, Jenna James, Kevin Jones. Who else rolled through? Therese, Alan Lewis, Antoine Allen, a whole bunch of people. The names are small, and I'm gonna be scrolling. But look, if I missed you, it's not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? We here. You know what I'm saying? We doing it up. So tomorrow we have actually tomorrow we ain't got nothing. Wednesday we have Jujutsu Kaisen, and we'll be talking about that because anime is kind of dope. It's not Demon Slayer, but it did come through. So with that said, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Holla at us. From us to you, I'm leaving y'all with some Black comics. Shout out to Blurtish and 133 Art, and some beats from Elixir, Algo C, and I think SP the Soul Prophet. So of course, until next time, we'll see y'all later. Y'all stay real and please don't slap nobody. Peace.
Peace.
Denzel, what up?
You got to know that if you keep dwelling in the past, you will remain in the past. Can I get a fucking yeah?
Good day, gentlemen. This is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space and the entire crew is revived, it can be told you. 18 months ago, aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
You're listening to my daddy, All Gorilla MC.